Hello learners, welcome to our virtual learning class. Today we'll be studying integrated science, and in integrated science we have electricity as the lesson for today. We have electricity. Then let's look at the objectives. At the end of the lesson, we should be able to explain electricity. Then identify some uses of electricity. At the end of the lesson, we'll be able to explain electricity and identify some uses of electricity. Okay, and identify some uses of electricity. Okay, now let's continue. When we say electricity simply means, or electricity is the flow of what? Electrical charges from one point to another through a conductor. The flow of electricity or electrical charges from one point to another. Okay, so let's say this is where the electricity is generated. Okay, so when it flows from here to this point through a conductor, let's say this here is a conductor. This is the conductor. So when the electricity, if the electricity flows from here to the end here, is what we call the electrical charge. Flow from here to the end here is what we call electricity. Okay, now we know we all get our electricity from Akosombo Dam. Okay, if the power is generated at Akosombo Dam, we can't go to Akosombo to use it over there, but I have to move from Akosombo to our house. Okay, so they use conductor to transfer it from Akosombo to our house. And when they are using this conductor, or when the electrical charge is flowing through the conductor from Akosombo to our house or to Accra here for us to use, is what we refer to as what? Electricity. Okay, it's what we refer to as electricity. Now, let's look at conductor or conductors. We say conductors are materials that allow electricity to pass through them. Conductors are materials that allow electricity to pass through them. You see, in our home we have so many materials at home that we use. Okay, and there are some that allow electricity to pass through them, and there are some that do not allow electricity to pass through them. Okay, now let's look at this. For example, if you are having a nail and you insert the nail into the plug or into the socket. Okay, into the socket. Let's say here, you see that when you insert the nail, you are going to be shocked by the electricity. Why? Because it has passed through the nail. So the nail over there is a conductor. It allows the electricity to pass through and get into contact with you. But at the same time, when we use pencil or pen here, you see that you will not feel anything. But when you use the nail, you feel that there's something hitting you. Okay, so the nail is a conductor and the pen or the pencil is an insulator. Okay, so the nail allows the electricity to pass through it, but the pen does not allow the electricity to pass through it. Okay, so when we talk of conductors, we have some examples as aluminium, silver, copper, iron, gold. Okay, all these materials here, they allow electricity to pass through them. They allow electrical current to pass through them, and they are referred to as conductors. We call them conductors. Then let's look at insulators. Say insulators are materials that do not allow electricity to pass through them. Insulators are materials that do not allow electricity to pass through them. As I said earlier with the example, that when you insert a pen into the socket, you will not feel anything. So the pen is what? An insulator. Why? Because it doesn't allow electrical current to pass through and to have contact with you. Okay, so we have some example as plastics. So all plastics are insulated. They don't allow electrical current to pass through them. Then we have wood, we have ceramics too. Okay, right. Let's continue with some uses of electricity in our home. let's continue with some uses of electricity in our home. We all use electricity in our home for so many things. We use electricity in our homes for so many things. For example, providing what? Light. Providing light. We use electricity in our home to provide light. Most of our light we use at home, even during daytime and nighttime, are provided by what? Electricity. Okay, we use electrical bulb, that is the bulbs that convert the electrical energy to what? Light energy for us to use in our homes. Okay, so electricity provides us with what? Light. It provides us with light. Then we also have ironing our clothes. Ironing our clothes. Okay, I hope this morning before we all come to school, our parents have, before we all came to school, our parents have ironed our clothes for us before we come to school. And some of us too, our parents use box iron, and some too, they use electrical iron. But most of us use what? Electrical iron, you see, to iron our clothes. So we use electricity for what? Ironing our clothes. Then we also have for cooking. For cooking. Somebody may ask, how do we use electricity to cook? You see, our rice cookers at home, then electric cookers too. They all use electricity to cook our food for us, in the home. So when we connect the rice cooker, or when we plug the rice cooker into the socket and we put the socket on, you see that the rice cooker will get electrical energy from the electricity, and that will help the rice cooker to cook our food for us. That is the same thing applied to what? Electric cookers. Okay. Then we also have charging of mobile phones and laptops. We use electricity to charge our mobile phones and our laptops at home. Okay. If the battery is low, we connect the charger to the electrical source, and so that our phone will be able to charge and will get the power to use our phone. Okay. Then we also have powering of our television sets. You know, when there is light off at home, you see that we can't watch our television. Okay. And maybe when there is light off, our daddy have to on his generator for us before we can watch television. And at the same time, the generator also provide us with electricity. So in all, electricity is used to power our television sets. Okay, when there's light off, we can't use the television set. But when there is light, we will be able to do what? To use our television set. Then we have heating water. We use our water heaters to heat water. Okay, and the water heaters are connected to what? Electricity. We plug them before we use them to heat our water. Okay, so water heaters also use electricity to heat our water for us. So electricity helps us to heat our water. When we feel very cold at home that we can't bath cold water, we have to heat the water. So we use electricity. And we use electricity in factories to power machines. Most factories, even in our home, you see our fridge, our deep freezers, and even our deep freezers also use use electricity at home. Okay, and other big companies also they have machines that they use electricity to power it so that they'll be able to function well. Okay, so in companies too, they also use electricity to power their machines. And the last uses here is washing. You know, when mommy want to wash our clothes for us, she has to connect the washing machine to her electricity or electrical source before we'll be able to do what? She'll be able to use the machine to wash our clothes for us. So in this sense, we also use electricity to do what? To wash our clothes. Okay? And I hope that we have so many ways of using electricity at home. Okay? If I ask you to mention some, I hope you can mention many of them. Okay, so with this, I'll bring the lesson for today to an end, and before we meet, have a nice day. Bye bye.